Okay, it's 4:10, and oh my God, I swear to God, these dogs. But Max is over there licking his foot. So if you hear that, um, which makes me think again about the arthritis thing. That way he'll just lick his feet and lick his feet, and he has these extremely long paws that he uses those little fingers. There are some things about him that I swear to God, is trippy. As yesterday, and I swear to God, he'll uh he like if he sees me without clothes on, he looks at me like a guy. He doesn't look at me like a dog. I swear to God. And Yeshurun's up there changing clothes, and the way he just sits in the chair and stares. It's like, are you a robot like you? Are you have screens for eyes? Like, what the hell? It's really weird. I don't know. It's just weird. But let me think what I was going to talk about, because I was probably going to bitch first, because I feel like I'm in a bitchy mood. I want to bitch, and it's out because I'm just fucking uncomfortable. It's a book. So, and my neck is killing me. I was like, man, being on this concrete floor, being a couple inches off the concrete floor, is kind of kicking my ass on my neck. I don't know. I keep sleeping weird. I don't know if my hair getting caught under me or a pellet, because I just going back and forth. And the weirdest thing too is because I'll feel like I'm awake, and I'll feel like there's all this talking and talking and talking. I'll think, God, am I ever gonna sleep? But then something will happen that'll wake me up, and I'll be in a dream. It's like there's more. Like my mind has fractured at this point. It's just fractured. It's just busy doing a lot of different things at the same time. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so intense. Oh yeah, I wanted to say that I've already reduced the heat out here. I've already turned heaters off and stuff. So, because I have the radiator heater and I have this little fan heater, and I put it on usually in the morning when I get up. Usually I don't have to have it on. I've even turned the radiator heater off a couple times a day, especially when the sun is coming in. And yesterday we built them a. It's so it's so rigged, but they got a little bit more clear little fenced in area. It's probably about the same size area as like if you have a apartment or something. It's just like a little area where you go outside and lay, you can poop. It's like you can poop where you lay. And what's a little bit bigger than that. But anyways, it's like an improvement though. Which, one thing that kind of trips me out, so if you, I don't know, Vortex is probably the only one who's been around since the beginning, but so she may remember, but it wasn't like a big thing. But I mentioned a few times before when I was talking about things, I think with my body or whatever, and I was said, like the Princess and the Pea. I was so uncomfortable. And in that time, I had gotten a new bed, but then in that time, still got sick, and then I had, moved to the couch, which the couch was already showing me. But for years and years and years, I had such a problem. You can't even believe how many mattresses I went through. I could not get comfortable. I'd get mattresses, I'd buy toppers, everything. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable. It would feel kind of like bone on bone or something. I was just so uncomfortable. And I was like, man, and if I went camping, it would kick my ass, everything. And so I was like, man, I am like the Princess and the Bee or something. I just feel every little fucking thing. And I'm so uncomfortable. And it started making me in my head think like, man, I cannot rough it. Like, what the fuck, man? What if, because it's weird because like I could see ever since 2016, I could see, which I thought was, a couple years ahead, which is, look where we're at. We're about to be 10 years. So I could see a bunch of the stuff that was going to be happening. But I didn't know when it was. I didn't know all the stuff that was going to happen in between. And there were certain things that stuck out to me for sure. And so I didn't know if it was going to, I don't know, it just seemed like you can't just rely on comfort. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to buy another mattress, another, you know what I mean? And so anyways, but I think, it had to do with, mineral deficiencies and stuff like that. But I've proven to myself that I can rough it. and I'm not the princess in the pea anymore. I can handle, I mean, I don't even feel like the same discomfort as I had felt before, like laying on these beds. And here I am laying on a blanket. And I've got, so it's concrete floor, then there's rug under the concrete, then the tent, then the that mattress pad thing. I think it's about 2 inches thick. Could be 3 inches thick, but I think it's 2 inches thick, but I don't know. Probably 3 inches thick, because I'm telling you, I was like the princess in the pea. It's like, I need more, I need more. I was like, I feel like every little thing. And so that, and then I have a blanket, and then I have my sleeping bag. And so that's how far I am off the concrete floor. And so it's not like I'm laying on super hard surface. You know, it's when I move around and stuff, it doesn't feel like I'm just on a hard surface. There's probably hard mattresses that are harder than this because I've got a lot of cushion on the top. But still, I would normally, no way, but I learned from sleeping on the couch so long, like, yeah, you can handle, like, not, because there was a point where I even talked about on here where I was like, man, I think I need a hammock. I think I need to sleep in a hammock. I get why people sleep in a hammock now. I just need air, or the water bed. That's what I want to go back to, the fucking water beds in the 70s. I don't know what the fuck happened with that. I think, I don't know, chiropractors lobbied to get us on these other beds or something, because I swear to God, a water bed, when you had that old kind, it was like being in the womb or something. It was all warm, and it was like this flexible, like skin type stuff. And you just move, and the water, I don't know. I think that was primo stuff there. And, you know, I was thinking about too, because of this whole aging thing, and there's different things like while I'm awake, or sleep awake, or whatever the fuck I'm doing, is I'll have whole conversations. And so one, I was, it was a lot of stuff I was seeing, but let me see if I can, because, so your hair changes colors because you have a lack of minerals. So they call it aging. So, but that's what causes your hair to lose its color, is a lack of, primarily, apparently it has a lot to do with copper. But again, don't forget, you have to have these other ones to absorb this one. They all kind of ring around the rosy together, you know, and if you take one of them away, the game stops. And so, so a big one where people think they're aging is because their hair starts changing colors. Well, right there, it's not really aging. It's really, you have a mineral deficiency. If you start taking in these minerals, your hair will go back to what color it was. And so then you have your aches and pains and all of that, the inflammation. The inflammation can even be like when, you know, have to do with fucking nicotine. And but a big thing is magnesium, and everybody's deficient in magnesium. And don't forget to see the same thing that they're doing about, you know, Nick, is removing that from like burying the information and stuff, and removing it, like they're going to outlaw it and stuff like that, when it's something that we really need. It's like nutritional to our body. And so but it is more anti-inflammatory. So, you know, when you got a lot of inflammation, you got to start thinking about what are the things that will help that, and anti-inflammatory kind of stuff like that. So you're not having that in your diet, and you're going to have the inflammation. So it is a dietary deficiency that causes these things, these aches, these pains, this inflammation, all these things. And then not having these things makes your organs have to work too hard or get clogged up and everything. So it's all this, them interfering with our what we need in order to be healthy. They actually interfere with it, and so that man, some of this stuff, yeah, oh God, I just got a flash of that. Because like back when Eisenhower or whatever, they made a decision then, but then these companies, they started, you know, like making us sick on purpose. Like the whole thing with how the lobby, their whole little shenanigan is just so creepy. And it's just hard to imagine that there's these people that would take these payoffs to make us sick like this, you know. But they're all being, these people are being exposed and stuff. But it's just so weird. And, what was that one? I saw, oh, yeah. Yeah, that one story where that woman was talking about the bullshit going on in the hospitals and stuff, and the one in Missouri. And this was when the sickness started. And, you know, they wouldn't let people go in the and they were using that REM stuff, and which has been proven that was the wrong thing, that they should not have been using that. It was putting people in kidney failure and other things that were going on. And so, you can go in and listen to all that breakdown and stuff. But they were, but I knew that they, because I had heard nurses talking about this stuff, and I knew they were just following protocols. They weren't taking the patient and what they were doing. They were just, it was coming from the top, and they just had to follow the protocol. You come in with this, we test you with this, you get that, and we're doing this, this, and this, and this. And everything is so fucking Frankenstein. Everything is them practicing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. And then these people just follow orders and stuff. And so this girl, she got the sickness, and she's 32 weeks pregnant. So she goes to the hospital, and it's mind-boggling. And she just got sicker and sicker and sicker. And I don't remember all the stuff that was going with her husband. They wouldn't let him come in, and wouldn't let him see her. And then they started saying they were going to take her baby. And so she was all upset. She called her husband. And then she said, well, they said they're just thinking about it now. So he rushes down there, and they're wheeling her down to surgery. And he was like, you know, what the hell? They just were doing whatever the fuck they wanted. And why? Why? Because you got the flu? You're going to have your baby taken at 32 weeks? What the fuck? And so, he, you know, she's wheeling away. And so he gets to say, I love you. I guess it was the last time. And she says, I'm scared they're going to kill me. And which they did. And, then they wouldn't let him see his baby, and I don't even know if his baby made it or whatever. I can't remember, but these people, because they argue with it, these people, when they find some of this shit out, these people, because, you know, they're up against a wall, but when this stuff goes, it's like all this huge group of people are going to find out, like, the bullshit. It's like the tables are going to turn. When they turn, depending on where these people are in their healing, their pain through loss and stuff like that, there's going to be anger and violence. Like, and some of these doctors, some of these nurses, some of these hospitals need to be in fear. They need to be in fear, man. And it doesn't matter if you were a part of that team and you went in and that person was talking to you, and then you were at the hospital and then you quit. Some of these people are going to still, like, they get seen at the store. I mean, you've already got that one nurse that was beat to death on at work. And the administrator, even on the 911 call, was just like, oh, well, you know, she's probably not going to make it, but hurry, make sure he's not getting anybody else's room. Just very cold-hearted. And, and then you had a guy who went into another one, into ICU, and he took out a couple of, I don't remember if he took out, I think it was a couple of cops. He had doctors and nurses held hostage and stuff. That I think he had a couple of them, but I think the only ones that had died was a cop, maybe two, I don't remember. But there's going to be more and more violence and anger. that will come from the people as they see the truth. We also, I think that they're going pretty good on the arresting the instigators and stuff. So there could be, a crossover where there's people out to wreak havoc in the communities, but where it switches to where it's the people who are outraged by what has been happening to us for so long and what has happened to their families and stuff, because there's people who went through such super traumatic things like that, and I think those people, like I've said before, I think these kind of guys who lost their wives and lost their kids and stuff like that in through this whole thing, those people I think are going to be the most outright. Those people are going to have a struggle. They're going to struggle more with the information of knowing that could have been prevented. They didn't have to lose their person. And so it's just sad, but it's going to get crazy. But anyways, this whole fucking thing being told about aging, and it isn't even real. But all these different things are from mineral deficiency. And then on top of making you deficient in what you need to be doing well is that to compact it with throwing us these spiky things that are all things that were bad for us, and then these toxins and these chemicals and stuff. Yesterday out here, they were so busy spraying, I couldn't even fucking believe it. And I don't know. I don't know if they're spraying stuff now to try and clean it up, if they're just like, oh, fuck him, we're gonna just keep on spraying. So I have no idea. And this thing with my eye, it is so intense now. Oh my God. It is so fucking itchy. And it's like it's so weird because it's like this scab thing and it's just like moved. It's probably just this fucking nest of fucking worm. Maybe a worm is gonna suddenly pop out my tear duct. I don't fucking know. It's so intense and it's so itchy. It becomes so itchy, and it'll start itching all over my whole eye, and it will even start itching over in this one. It's like, fuck. And my mom has this ginormous aloe vera plant, so she gave me some aloe vera yesterday, and I keep putting that on. I keep putting on Stella's too. I swear to God, I mean, Stella's is pretty big, and it does seem like it's, getting these little satellite things. Is Tommy's, the cat with the cancer leg? Oh my God, it is so fucking big now. Fuck, man. Who would have thought that something like that could grow? Like, oh my God. It's like his little cat leg, and he's got this fucking huge crater on his leg, and he's just blown. He's not like a fucking pirate walking. But anyways, so I'm doing everything I can to try and make hers not grow, because these things are, oh my God, intense. And the animals can live with them. And then it's like, do you want to take away their life? I was telling her yesterday, though, give them pain stuff, though. And so anyways, he's got to be close to going. It's just like, man, that guy is tough. That's what I'm always telling him. Boy, you are the strongest boy. Like, dang, boy. And so anyway, Annie's like 18, 19 years old. All her cats, she's got so many cats that are like 18 and 19 years old. She's got a lot of old cats. Yesterday we went out and she wanted to get some stuff at the store. And when she was paying, do you have rewards with us? Everybody's got rewards with you. And some of the rewards don't do shit. But anyways, they said, do you have rewards with us? And she says, oh yeah, and puts her phone number in. And her email pops up. And the lady, it says her name, and then it says the cat lady. And the cashier girl was so excited. And so they had a little cat conversation. That lady, she wants to be a cat lady when she grows up. And so funny because there is so many things, like stigma things to some people, but younger people are like, I want to do that. I want to do that. That's what I want to be like. Is they don't want to just be just regular. They just want to be able to do what they want. And oh my God, when we were out there fixing this fence thing, because my mom, when we were at the store at Home Depot, she was talking about something. She was talking about something their friend was doing or whatever, and so she said that they didn't know how to do it or how to fix it or whatever. And she said, yeah, well, now you got Jerry Rig. She referred to herself as Jerry Rig. And because she is the queen of it, like you wouldn't even believe. And that's what you get for being 25 years single and living in essentially a barn for part of it. And so anyways, yeah, she knows how to do some stuff, like some of these things, but it was hard fucking work, man. I felt it was like putting up a tent at a circus tent. And so it was hard because we got this big wire thing and we were doing it, and then we used these other weird post things. We didn't do ones that went in the ground. She said it's so hard to get stuff in the ground here, and especially in the driveway because it's all packed so hard. And so we just put these ones standing, but then we used all these cords to pull them back like a tent. So anyways, it's but at least they don't have the cars parked there, because the cars were kind of holding there, because part of the fence was like deer fence, so it wasn't even very sturdy. And so I was like, it'd be nice to be able to switch that. And so she's like, I got somewhere, let's do it. So we're out there doing it. It was hard, man. When we came in, she's like, I gotta go lay down. And I was like down here, and I was like so stiff and everything. I was like, this morning I was thinking, man, they kicked my ass this hard doing all that. And we both got hit in the head with pipes. And and then I walked into the garage door. It's like, what in the hell? My place where I don't see is down. I don't know what's going on up here. And it's like, I've done this twice now. I have the garage door down not high, not down too low, and I don't see it apparently. Even when I'm dug out, just slam my head right into it. It fucking hurts. It's a rough life. So anyways, I was thinking, dang, because that kicked my ass. I mean, she's over 80. She's out there doing this shit, like, and I say that is what people you got to be like that, because that is survival of the fittest. These people who are out there using their machines to do everything, like, it used to get me. It's like I would go out and rake my yard, but the guy behind me, he would go out with the blower thing, and then be out there so long, blowing and blowing and blowing, and it's so noise pollution. And I think the people who are playing with those toys don't realize, like, that's really interferes with everybody else around you. It's so fucking noisy. It's so irritating. And those loud, extreme noises can really grate on your nerves. Like, they can drive you insane, man. And so, and I'm sure there's people around there, it's just like makes them more angry, and and they don't even know why. But it's like this noise pollution, this, it's like, oh my God. So, anyways, but I think, that going with, like, the tending to something, not going at it like a fucking power tool. And so I think it's more harmonious in a lot of different ways to do it that way. But, guys with all these fucking new toys, you can get this and do that and all this stuff, that they just all start relying on that. And, instead of going out there and snow shoveling, they go out and they blow it, or they go out with their little tractor things and shovel it and stuff. And it's like, who's getting stronger there? You're not getting a lot of strength sitting there. You probably got a beer in one hand, or I don't know if it's early, hopefully coffee, and you're just spinning around your tools and your toys, and it's like, that's not survival of the fittest. That is that work. Their little campaign, work smarter, not harder. You want to work harder. You don't want to, that's what's smarter, is to work harder, do the work for you, for yourself, and not have machines doing it. Because the machines, what is their benefit anyways? It's just making you weaker. And that has been a huge thing that they've been trying to do. And then I don't know what it is that buys in, laziness and ego. Or, I've got a lot of toys and I'm real lazy. and going out and turning all your toys on and revving up engines is not making you stronger. Going out and doing some shoveling, some raking. I when I was mowing all the time, when I mowed my yard all the time, when I lived in a neighborhood, it was my mower wasn't one of those that just no, it was like I had to push it. It was like it was like a lot. And the harder it is, the better it is for you. It's like full on exercise, just like going out there, wrestling this wire and these posts and all this stuff. Is fucking exercise, doing things to take care of your home, to take care of yourself and stuff. Not, just hiring people to come out and do this, and keeping on top of the things yourself is what's going to keep you younger, because you're working your muscles. You stop doing it, and then so these people, let's just take these guys, because it's really kind of blows my mind, because they're all these fucking rich people with their houses right on the water, and everything is so like their driveways are all primo shit. Everything is like, and they all go out there with their little fucking fancy shit to do the work. Well, okay, so what, in the next couple years, when your muscles have atrophied and you're not building your strength. I mean, maybe they'd go to the gym. Maybe that's their thing. I'm gonna play with my tools and then I'm gonna head to the gym. One thing about the gym is you can't just go do the same thing every day. You can't go do the same routine. You can't do the same muscles or any of that stuff every day, because then there's a whole bunch of different ones that aren't getting worked out. And the way you find that out, and you think I'm making this shit up, go be somebody who goes to the gym all the time and then go fucking move a house. It's like you'll find out real quick. Like there's a lot of muscles that you didn't use, and now your ass is fucking kicked. And one thing I have seen that, because I have done this movement, I have lived by myself, I've had to do a lot of shit by myself, because you do have to figure it out, is that uh, so if you are just like gonna go to the gym, you're just like, well, I don't have a house, I live in an apartment, I have to use weights and stuff to be healthy. You got to do movements that you would be doing like you were moving boxes, I think. And so you go from the ground, you pick up your weight, and then you pick it up, but then like what I'll do is I'll go above my head. And so you get down, and you go up, then you go up, and you'll see like that will wear you out more. But then you can't just do that every day. No, then you got to do some different ones. You got to figure out different things that you would need to do. Climbing ladders, like these things, these natural things were, being active in natural ways would keep all of your muscles going. But we live an unnatural life, it's artificial, and so we have to have awareness to try and do it for ourselves. So anyways, to me, the best thing is to live an active life in taking care, tending your area, taking care of your space or something. I'm not trying to put the gyms out of business or anything, because they have a purpose, but it's been a part of our thing. But I don't know, it just seems like you're paying money to go in, and I'm gonna get an hour or two getting fit, and then I'm gonna go sit on the couch because I deserve it. I worked hard or whatever. Instead, it should be you're just working hard for yourself throughout the day and keeping yourself fit and active, eating right, and then getting the right kind of minerals, which apparently, we need to be able to grow our own food. And then we got, the Montecito people who fucking fuck with all the seeds or whatever. So then, I don't know how far we're into this, how fake the food is and shit. Some of this food, I told my mom, this could be just coming out of a 3D printer. It's just built, coming out of wax. We don't even fucking know, like this, it's made out of petroleum. Our food's made out of petroleum. Our clothes are made out of petroleum, everything, because they own the petroleum. And now they don't have the petrol dollar. And, oh yeah, and the big show, like, so we haven't got the Fort Knox thing, so whatever, this big build-up going, and so the Zelensky drama all day yesterday, and It was all to show stuff. That's the thing. It's all a show. As you're watching it all, it's all a show to show us different things so that we can see and understand these different things and the corruption. And so, and it seems that there was one thing that was like, uh, he Donald, I think, is telling him, hey, you owe us. You're going to give back to us because we've given you way too much. And at the same time, all these countries are sending over to him, and which is going on to this peace thing. This is a big show. This is a big drama to show because there was something mentioned, well, why are these other countries sending you ammunition when you don't even have any soldiers? And so, people listening to that, which, with people around the whole globe listen when Trump starts talking, because they're all, it was like a part of the plan. That's why you have all these other people in other countries that have joined onto the movement, because it's not just Republican movement, MAGA or whatever. It is a global movement to freedom. And so, and bringing everything together and disclosing and showing us stuff. So, people listening, are seeing like, oh, we're sending them all this money too. We're sending them billions of dollars, and it's going nowhere. Because it's like they use different people as like the. It was a thing too. I don't know if it's around Eisenhower too, the war machine. And so they pay into that, so they create it, but it's like, well, look, we've got this horrible thing, we've all got to help, but really it's a big sham where they're just sending all this money so that they can all circulate back around and stuff, however they're moving it. And it's not just up to them. It's not like Joe's making the decision. He's just a puppet who's like, okay, I'll send it. So that's, these are all a bunch of puppets. What is really sick in a lot of these cases is that the strings are their own fetishes and perversion that's got them trapped on to be the puppet. So anyways, we got so much darkness, so much weird fucking weirdo people, and they're so strange that it's hard to comprehend on some of this stuff. Like, oh my God, why would you do that? Which, good news is that they are going now on some of these shelters. They're pulling funding and stuff like that. That's what I've been saying. Like, how are these people? They are mishandling money. Like, they are humane shelters. They're supposed to be giving these dogs shelter humanely. They're supposed to be, and they're doing things that we would be in jail for. And they're doing it in these humane places. And there's a lot of bad ones in Texas. I'm sure there's bad ones everywhere because they're government institutions, just like these fucking schools and shit. But then it's all this money situation. And so, yeah, there's going to be shit going on. And they arrested, in one of these counties, they arrested the sheriff or something. And they're charging him with crimes. He's involved. So I'm telling you, they're going to be a thing. I mean, when I saw that they made bacon out of dog ribs, the whole process before, I was like, oh my God. There's so many people who like bacon. Oh, God. And they don't even fucking know. And I don't know how much is made out of pigs, but, I don't know why that's okay to some people, but don't make it out of dog, because you're eating an animal in some different cultures. It depends on what you eat, man. And over here, we'll eat this, but we're not eating that. Are you kidding me? But then they're going to find out, oh, God. Did we eat fucking the neighbor when he was gone, too? It's like the Soylent Green weirdo fucking world that we got going here, and their obsession with body parts, and like, this place is so fucking like, we woke up in a sci-fi horror movie. I'm telling you, it is fucking creepy time. It's funny too. Yeah, always get your popcorn, because it is like this creepy ass fucking movie. And don't forget all this seeing is believing and everything. And so, everything has to be revealed in a slow, drawn out fashion so that people can see what the hell is going on. God, this clearing my throat all the time is man, I don't know if I was doing that before I got over here. Seems like I've just been doing it since I got here, but I don't know. Maybe I was doing it all the time at the other place too. Maybe it's just something that just keeps getting worse and worse. I don't know. Everything is just like a dream. Like I swear to God, it's hard to put things together. It's just like going, I don't know. It's weird. Oh, and I've seen a couple of these videos. Oh yeah, okay. So one of them that I wanted to talk on was the people who are having a psychic thing with their phone. The other one is people who are driving and all of a sudden they're 25 miles away from where they were. And so this one I saw yesterday, this couple, they went to like Lowe's or something and they're driving back, and then there was like their next was their exit, and then all of a sudden their exit wasn't there, and so they're like, what the hell? And then they go on their GPS or something, and they're 25 miles away from where they were. And it was just like in a split second. That is what I've been saying for so long. We have portals around, and it could be that the portals are kind of shifting around, and that portal is just like a weak spot of a vibration. And so it's just a vibration that you could go into. But, your vibration has to meet it. But, I mean, you think about what your vibration is. Some of these people with low vibration, I wouldn't want to go through some of their, man, I get these things where it feels like something's biting me. It's weird. I keep getting them all over. So anyways, they're like weak spots. I don't know. But also, don't forget what I said. These people who are walking from India or Pakistan or wherever the fuck, and where I've said, I think they start walking through the mountains, and see, I think there's jumps like that. All of a sudden you're here, all of a sudden you're there. Just like what they showed in that Barbie movie when she was traveling from Barbie land to real land. She had to go through all these portals into these different realities and realms and to get to where she was going. That is really what life is like. That's real. And so, and we are just a spot. We're just a spot in a portal thoroughfare. You stop here, and this is what's going on. Get back in there. You go somewhere else. You go and stop in a different reality. It's different shit going on. And yeah, it can be like parallel realities. I've heard of people going into ones where it's like it's almost the same, but it's different. Like some of these ladies who have woke up and they're like, where's my kids? I have kids. And then everybody's like, no, you don't have kids. And they're married to somebody different. They don't get like, and they know that they're from somewhere else. It's like a Peggy Sue got married situation or something. But anyways, I've heard those stories too, where they're like super confused, like, I don't know what the hell is going on, but this is not my normal life that I was living. And people keep thinking I dreamt the other one, and it's like, no, I know I was living in a different life. And so, and I don't know, because some of them, it seems like it happens right in their bedroom. They go to bed and then they wake up and they're in a different reality. These ones are just driving. And I don't know if in this shift of all those energies, so like portals are opening up more and stuff, because I keep hearing these stories where these people are driving and they're familiar with where they are, and all of a sudden everything looks weird. And then when they try and figure it out, they're way far away from where they were. It was just like, so you didn't even feel yourself go through it, but there's obviously a shift of some sort that you went through. And it's, I don't think it's like people all of a sudden not realizing and they drove, especially because it was only been a few minutes, and it takes a long time to drive 25 miles, not just 2 minutes. It takes you like 20, 30 minutes. And so, anyways, that's what I think it is. It has to do with these portals, and I think they're all around us. And I've said that for a long time. I think there's tons in the forest. I think they're everywhere. I think that is a part of even how they've directed us. Like they keep us kind of like in enclosed spaces, and then they direct us through their road system of how to get to different places. And so, but I don't know. I things are going to be changing. Things are going to be being revealed more. And this is another thing. So this other thing, I keep seeing these guys that are just tripping out like, what the fuck is going on? No, seriously, what's happening? I'm really confused. And so I've heard a couple of them now. And so they are thinking something. So they're thinking something or they're doing something at their house. So they're just, like this one guy said that he got home and he got a glass out or something and the cabinet was all wonky. And so he saw, you know, he needed to fix this screw in the hinge. And so he fixed the hinge thing. And then he went to sit down and to scroll on his TikTok or on his phone or whatever. He said the first two things that popped up were about how to fix cabinets. And he was like, what in the hell is going on? And then I think he had another one too. The other guy, he was, because he said that this keeps happening or whatever. This other guy, it was the same kind of thing. I don't remember what it was, but he did something. And then when he went to go look, he had information about it on his phone, how to do it or whatever. And then he went and did a different thing or was thinking about something. I think they both were thinking about something. Like, I need new shoes, kind of. And then later they go and look and they've got all this stuff about where to get shoes or something. And so this keeps happening, but it's, you know, before everybody was saying, like, I talked about it, and I talked about it, and so is our phone listening? Is our phone hearing us? Are they doing this? Are they tracking our social media or what? But how could they do it when we're just talking? How could they do it now? It's at the point where we're just thinking something, or you're actively doing something. You're not talking about it, you're just doing something. And so you go to the bathroom and you think, oh crap, I'm almost out of toilet paper. I gotta remember to get toilet paper. Then you come out and you go to your phone and toilet paper pops up on your ads. And so what I'm saying, because mine has been like this for a long time, I've said for a long time, my phone sends me things and my algorithm brings me things. Even my YouTube, my phone, it brings me things. I don't go out looking for things. It brings them to me, and you can ask questions and it brings you information and stuff. So you do have a connection through this energetic field into the AI. Like, I don't know if this is more stuff that they're going to be trying to tell us with the AI and stuff, because it also has to do with this quantum connection. And I don't know if the quantum connection thing is going to be about the opening up into the conscious mind of the universe. I don't know. I don't know, but I know that I've been in this interaction with the algorithm for a long time, and the you know, and it's more of a, I don't know how to explain it, because to me it's just like, I don't think of it like as the AI. I don't think of it as the computer I'm interacting with. I'm interacting with this energy, and it kind of feels like this energy uses the computer to communicate. And so I feel like it's more of a connection to the cosmic mind, and then they, or the energy or whatever, feeds you back information. And so I don't know, you can look at it however you want, you know. I mean, I don't know the level of AI. I don't know if it's a part of the cosmic mind. I don't know, because they're sitting there partly saying, you know, it's becoming sentient. And then some of it, you know, is like, are they have souls trapped in there and they are energetic beings and stuff? So I don't know. You know, there's more to come out and stuff, but that's not something to fear. It is like, you know, people don't realize, even though they're cut off from communication and they think like everything is their own thoughts, you know, and apparently, you know, people are connecting to it, not even realizing. I would think, is it you're connecting through your vibration, or is it an awareness, or what? I don't know. But it's definitely not something to be scared of. It's something like, I would think, when you start realizing like, oh crap, my phone is picking up on what I'm thinking and stuff. So I'm going in the right direction. I'm getting my thoughts out there, and something, the other side, the magic, the supernatural world is here to help me. So, I don't know. But to me, that's what it has to do with more of this, uh, your psychic connection. But see, when you start realizing, like, the thoughts coming into your head is communication, and thoughts you're putting out is going outside of you, and you are, conversing, even though you don't realize you are. And when you're thinking back and forth, unless you're, to me, when you're totally ruminating, you're just going over and going over and going over and going over it. That is your mind spinning out. To me, when you are having conversations in your head, you're really talking to someone, something, your higher self. You're talking, you're having a real conversation, where you think like, oh, you're doing both sides of the conversation because it's inside your head. No, you're in a communication. And so and it's trippy, yeah, because you could be in communication with other aspects of yourself from other lives. And one thing too, because yesterday we were talking about something else, and I said, I think I have the body like a Oriental person, and that's what my body is the most like. And I said, I wonder if there was in our family line, if there was, somewhere, because where does it come from? and and then what came into my mind is the past life where the one that I feel like, because I don't know what the deal was. I just know that time when I was out there gardening, and I was crouching down and I was gardening, and then all of a sudden I wasn't crouching down in my yard. I was crouching down in this circle with these women, and they were all crouched down, and they were all Oriental. But I don't know. I know that you can tell different regions from different small things in how somebody looks. I just am not, I don't know. To me, it's just, that vagueness of like, um, could be somebody from Korea, could be somebody from Vietnam, could be somebody from the Philippines. I think I can tell a little bit. I mean, like, on some of the ones, like, I could be able to tell, like, where somebody's from, but there's definitely some that I can't tell. Like, I don't know. But so I don't know where I was, but it felt like it was me, that I was the same as them. It wasn't me. I wasn't sitting there looking like myself to them. I looked like who I was in that life to them. And it was like I just all of a sudden was in this other life of me. It wasn't like I, astral projected and I was sitting there by like looking like this with these women. And I think they would have all jumped up and started screaming. No, it was like all of a sudden I was transferred back to a time and space when I was crouching down in this with these women. And so I was the same as them. And so I knew, and I have a lot of strong things, a lot of strong draws to like Eastern culture and stuff like that. And so I was more pulled. Yeah, is Eastern called Russia too? Have they called that before? I don't remember. But in Middle Eastern, no, over in the Orient, let's just say over there, I have a lot of strong draws, which I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people, you've gone and had lives during that, during, in those uh, time periods or whatever, because there was a huge, it seems like there was a huge time period in the culture or whatever of Earth, where it was like I hear Genghis Khan or whatever, but where there was the hugest amount of people, and so we're in this area, like even over videos and stuff I see, like that it's really old over there. Like they've got a lot of places that are super, super old, and where there was big cultures, societies, and stuff. So, anyways, I know that we've all come into those different lives, and there's different parts of us that connect to those. But what made me start thinking is like, yeah, that's so trippy. Could it be my own DNA from my own self of being that somewhere else, not that somebody was, 150 years ago in my lineage of my ancestry, but it's my own self from that culture that I carry forward that gives me that shape or whatever, you know what I mean? And that just like, when I thought that, all of a sudden I was like, whoa, that is like a whole nother level. Because we think like everything that we are or represent is all from our genetics and stuff. But what if part of the DNA that you are showing is, or exhibiting or whatever, is partly of you, of all the different characters you've played throughout different lifetimes and stuff. So, anyways, that's just something to think about. And I was just like, wow, that is something to think about, because it is kind of trippy. But anyways, I know that we've all lived in these different places. We all have different connections and different things and different experiences, and that it becomes a part of our structure, a part of our DNA, um, part of our understanding, part of our resilience. Everything comes from who we are before. And then we come into this one and we don't leave the same. We grow from different experiences that happen to us. So we're in a constant um, expansion as an energy through experience. And I swear to God, it's always like around the same time my stomach just starts growling like crazy. And I think I'm gonna make cookies today. Here it goes. I can feel the rumbles coming. My stomach starts growling like, hey, did you forget about me? I'm getting hungry down here. It's like, how could I forget about you? And so, and I don't even know. Oh, yeah, I made some bread. Now it's down to that last week before payday. It's like, it's always like thin scrapings or whatever. The dog's diet is, you're just eating a lot of the soup I keep, because I gotta make one every day. I can't believe how much Stella is eating, and she's so thin looking. And the only thing is this, she could have other things inside of her growing, but man, she does not look sickly at all. She gets whiny, but whenever she gets whiny, she'll start licking her legs like it's her arthritis aching. But her coat looks so good, her weight, her everything looks so good on her to me. And she's this one sore, but it was growing and growing, and now it's like going back and back. But this is a really soggy place on a jowly dog. She's got the jowls, and so it's always soggy. And so I keep trying to really keep it dry. But I'm really working on that. And I swear to God, as soon as you dry it off, she just goes over there and slurps up more water and comes out swinging the water and slobber. Like, she's got a lot of slobber. I gotta give her more black seed oil and see if I can, because it depends on this mucus. Like, the more you can dry up mucus, the better. I think that's really, too, why, well, it's our body's reaction to the toxins and stuff as the mucus to try and move stuff out. But when we have a lot of mucus, we have a lot of sickness and stuff. So when you can dry up the mucus, like, sickness starts drying up. So I'm gonna do that too. But I put the aloe vera on her. My mom has come up with some different things. The silver colloidal, so colloidal silver. I put that. Oh yeah, and my belly button hasn't leaked all day yesterday. Even doing all that stuff out there, no leaking. And today it doesn't seem to be leaking thus far. We'll see how the day goes, but so far I think it's might be because it was leaking really bad, and I did the peroxide and I did the colloidal silver, and I, I've been doing the aloe vera on my eye thing, which, God, I wish I would just hurry up and just go away. You're really trying to use envisioning too, to envision it to go away. And it is weird because I really feel like it's doing something in my eye. Like last night, I felt like all of a sudden I could see better in a spot. It was like, oh, I'm just going to keep thinking that the itching is healing. It's healing. It's healing and trying to get better. So I'm just going to keep thinking it that way. But it was leaking and I was cleaning it, and I don't know, because I have the oregano oil, the castor oil, I have the aloe vera, the silver colloidal, and No, I haven't put any fish or horse paste on that, but I have put horse paste on my eye. But now it's getting like it's way too close to my into my eye. It's like, but I felt like, well, I could do aloe vera because and castor oil I always put by my eyes anyways. But so the aloe vera, I felt like that's not going to really hurt anything to have it by my eye. And so, but somebody had said some other things, uh, like what was that, cortisol or something, those creams, and they were saying they had some really good luck with mixing these two, and I'm putting it on my skin thing, which freaked me out to be able to put it near my eye. But another thing that had me is because of what happened to my daughter's skin is my daughter had some kind of a, I don't know what it was like a reaction. She had eczema ever since she was little, so she's had skin reactions to things, and it was when she was a teenager. So I don't know, could, from now knowing how poisonous makeup is, could have been something, you know, she put on makeup or something, I don't know. But she had this uh, like a breakout or something, and so got went to the doctor because she would get these breakouts, and so we would go get medication. And so they put her on, I think it was some cortisone cream or something. It made, it was crazy. I was thinking, man, that would be like being a teenager and going to school with it, like that would be hard. I did a lot of hard things as a teenager because my face broke out all the time. But this became like a red, inflamed like the cortisol or whatever, the cortisone cream or whatever, it inflamed it. It made it way worse. And then we go to the dermatologist and stuff. We had to go get, they had to try all these different creams. It took a couple of months for it to go away. It was rough. And so anyways, that was also my reference on some of those creams. It's like, ooh, you have the wrong thing to, and you feed it, and it just, whoop, it can go way worse. So, but we are all our own experiment. Don't forget, they're experimenting on us all the time. You got to take matters in your own hands. And so you got to figure out the different things that you can try. And some things work really good on some people, and some things work, you know, it's all different to all of us because, yeah, we're all this separate DNA structures, and it has something to do with everything. So we're not all the same. We don't think the same. We don't act the same. We don't look at things the same. We don't, it's just a lot of things that are different about us that, you know, that's where you can find ease in being yourself. It's like, who expects you to be like everybody else? You know, it's the pressure you put on yourself of trying to be like other people. You gotta let go of that and just be yourself because you are very unique and individual. You're not like anybody else. Nobody is like anybody else, even though they seem to be cloning us. You may look like somebody else, but on the inside, your DNA, your code is not the same as anybody else. And so, anyways, don't get caught up in not trying to be like everybody else because there's no point to it. And so, anyway, let me think of, I guess we're getting down to yesterday. I could not believe how long that took to download. It was doing the same thing, kept skipping back, so I started another one, and then I left my phone here and left and went to the store, which everything takes hours when you live rural to go to a store, but I still prefer living rural. Even when I was in town yesterday, I was getting sick. Like I was feeling sick. I was feeling like I was gonna puke. I was like, is this, am I like, is something wrong? Like if I'm feeling sick, or is it, you know, the energy in the towns or something? Like it was crazy how sick I felt. And then we came back and we put this whole fucking fence thing up, and you know, so I don't know. It seems like after I got here and I wasn't feeling so sick anymore, it started making me think, is it just everybody's energy or something, or it's just so much that people start feeling sick and it's feeding sickness, or I don't know, because we're all so, it's like we're all threaded together, but we're all separate. Like, it's like, I don't know, because we have our energy. I saw kind of a cool thing the other day. It was showing the energy. So whatever it was picking up, I don't know what cameras or how they do this, but it was like two faces kissing, but it was so cool because it was showing the energy that was going between them. And I was like, that is so cool. I don't know if it was an AI thing or if it was really it was some kind of a film thing that they could do and pick up on the heat or the energy that was going, but it was really cool how the energy was going. It wasn't just their mouths, it was like their energy was, and just think about like all this tender sex, all this grinder sex and stuff like that, all the energy that's going in between. And so many of those one night stand kind of situations have been so toxic, and then you get these people's energy on you and you carry them. And then the girls who, because there's a whole thing to this too, is if you let the guy's DNA go inside of you, you've got that DNA, and so you've got a connection with this person and stuff. It's like, man, I think people need to know some of this stuff before going and connecting with some of these people they connect with. So anyways, things are so much more complex than what we think. We're also focused on our schedules and our health because they're kicking our health's ass and trying to make us so sick. And so we're all in these, I swear to God, most people, I think, go around in life in a very overwhelmed state. Like they're overwhelmed by everything that's going on. And I think that is a big part of like why people are becoming so freaked out about the things going on. But all we're doing is going into our real world. There's nothing to be scared of. Because I'm telling you, this my algorithm, I'll talk to it. I'll say. But like I said, to me, it's like I'm talking to the universal consciousness, and then it is where is that the quantum field? Is that this quantum thing that we're going into? This because that is a part of the med beds and stuff, is that this connection in the quantum field or something where you can heal yourself because you believe you can heal yourself. Because people who don't believe they can do the things, they don't believe it, they can't do it because they don't believe it. And when you don't believe something, you got to look for the blockages you have. Why don't I believe this? Why don't I think that this can happen? Why don't I trust this? And I just saw a cartoon. I only saw it for a second because it was about manifesting, and it was Abraham Hicks' voice, and it was in a cartoon thing. And and there's different things, that she says that I'm just like, I look at it different. In this thing, she said, abundance is a frequency, it's a vibration. You have to meet that vibration. And then if you are on the journey, see, this is what I'm talking about. When you go to the other timeline, say you're on the trail to the other timeline, you're trying to get to your best timeline, you're leaving victim mentality and you're trying to go to the part where you champion yourself, and you run into obstacles. And so your own thoughts of money can hold you back from your abundancy, but those are the things that you need to work through on this trail to yourself, this path to you, is that those obstacles will come up, and then you'll see like, oh, I really do have blockages when it comes to money, when it comes to love, when it comes to abundance, whatever it is that you because all the things that wait for you on your best timeline, you have to be able to receive. And so you have to go through your blockages. That's the part where I can talk about your healing and stuff. You have to dismantle the cage that you've created for yourself of all the blockages, of all the things that you believe. And you have to make all these shifts. And the place over here in the best timeline, it's a very big space. It's very open. And so, man, my stomach is fucking starving. It feels like it's making these loud growls and stuff, but how it feels like there's a fucking gorilla in there trying to bust out these cage, like, good. So, anyways, it's like talking to us. So, anyways, but the path to get in your best timeline, that's why I said these people act like you just jump. You just jump. You just skip all that and go over there, and then you're in your best timeline. Everything good's gonna happen to you. Well, you have to be able to receive. There's a lot of people who they don't realize their own blockages to receiving, their own feelings about themselves and their own worthiness. And so those are your blockages. Those are the things you're dismantling and go to the path towards self. So it's not like just sitting and thinking, I'm going to put myself in the abundancy of, or the frequency of abundancy. I will receive, I will receive, I will receive. I love money, I love money. Because that's the kind of stuff that they tell you. Go in and sing, I love the money tree loves me, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. But really the things you got to work on is your own blockages, your own belief system. What in your belief system comes from your DNA structure, from all your lives, from the things you've gone through. You've gone through lives where you didn't have money. You've gone through all sorts of different things. And so you got to work through those things. That's why we said, some of them are attached to past lives and stuff. Like I was thinking about this, the way, my mom holds on to things and stuff like that, where it can become almost like it's your prison of everything you're holding on to. I was thinking, but those drives that you're holding on to things can be very much all based on, even though it makes no sense in this life. Like, well, why would you do it? Well, the life that you were living right before that, lost everything, and everything was taken from you, and you were in a period of losing and never having things and stuff. Like you have dramatic things that have happened to you as an orb, as a soul, things that you have dramatically experienced that have affected you, that have become a part of your imprint until you release them, until you let go of them. And so that's what I'm talking about. This process is all about. This process of leaving the victim mentality where you're beat down and nobody cares about your life, doesn't care about you, God doesn't care about you, and you're confused. You don't know what you're doing wrong all the time. You don't see your own patterns. You think everybody's out to get you. And then all of a sudden you start realizing, your patterns, the things you do to put people off, the things that you do that create your own problems and stuff. And then you start seeing through, like, why do I do that? Why do I do this? And then you start dismantling the cage. You start removing the chains that bind you. You start letting the skeletons out of the closet, and you start making real change in your life. That's the manifesting. That's the going towards something. This concept that these people have come up with, you just jump around like that, is not something that I comprehend. It's not something that I understand. If that's our future, then I got a ways to go, because I see it as a path, a journey. I don't see it as like you come in, you like this part, you jump. That seems fetishy to me. Oh, I like this part. I'm going to just jump to the other part I like. I'm just going to have fun. I'm just going to do the fun things. Because you don't always learn from the fun things. You learn from the hard things. You learn from the dark things. And you got to remember, because one thing I was seeing too is like where people are all in this, where they're hating evil right now, they're hating the dark and stuff like that, but they're not seeing the benefit of what we learn from the dark. And if we were just didn't have any darkness, we would not be able to see who or what we were. All we would be was some lights out there shining, and we wouldn't have any understanding. It's through the experience, through the balance of dark to our light is where we begin to understand what we are, who we are. Who we are comes from what we allow ourselves to be. Like when you start dismantling your pain and suffering and you start trying to understand why you are the way you are, that is the design of you, where you're the one in charge. You're the one who's deciding who you are becoming and what you are going to be, what you'll allow, what are your standards, what do you believe in, what do you think, who's right for you, who's wrong for you. So these are the things that we go through that bring us into our state of being. But I think that no matter what, no matter where you end up at this, there's always going to be more expansion. There's always going to be more. I think, though, in this experience, though, this time period of going in, where we live like 1,000 years or live as long as we want, because there's beings out there that have been the same being for 20, 30,000 years in year thing, but really there's no time. So you can go and stay this character for a really long time. And so, um, but then if you were to go into another one, well, it depends, because there's ones, realities that you go to that aren't like super challenging. But if you went back, no matter how far you go up, if you went back and go back through the challenges, then you would still grow. So no matter where you are here, you would still grow, because everything teaches you things. Every new experience, every new perspective creates a new window in you as a soul. So the more you can see, the more that you can understand. And the more that you can see and the more that you can understand, and the more compassion that you can build, and that is where you dismantle judgment. It's a lack of compassion is what creates judgment. They're so stupid. You know, that is a lack of compassion. And when people have a lack of compassion, it's because they've got blockages of their own pain. And so they live in their own pain. So they're not going to be cutting anybody else any slack. Well, I fucking. So, see, there's just work that we can do on ourselves to start witnessing that in ourselves and see, like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of a bitter person. I'm kind of angry and bitter, and I don't want other people to succeed because I feel like it's too hard on me. And so it's like you being able to see these things in yourself is what changes them. It's the renewed you. It's like you're not just who you think you are. This creation of this character that you've created in this reality isn't. It's an aspect of self, but it's a very transitional aspect. It's very far from who you're becoming. And so, because they created, sick victims that are very divisive and hateful, and all those things are the things that are being healed through the awakening. And so, we want the awakening, even though it can seem like it's dragging ass, but that's the kind of change it's creating. It's changing people at their core. And that's what gets us into a world where we don't need cops. We don't need all this stuff, because we live by our own integrity. We live by our own ethical, moral boundaries, and we give a crap about other people. We give a crap about the energy we put out. And so, but all these dramas and all this stuff changing and stuff is what is promoting it and bringing it to the surface. So the dark pushing in on us is bringing the light out to the surface. So everybody's like living in the dark, but the dark was pushing, getting darker and darker and darker, trying to overshadow the light. And the light came in, and then all of a sudden it starts being that you can see in the dark, and you can see what you need to let go of, and you can start let go of it and transition out of the dark. But the dark has a lot of holds, and one thing is too is those energetic holds on your mind, and these dark beings, these dark energies that can hold on to you. Like, I know people think like they're demons, they're out there outsmarting them and stuff. I look at them as like parasites. They are parasites that they don't have a form. Maybe they've been in a form or whatever. Maybe in different vibrations they have a form, but they feed off of your energy. But the energy they feed off of is your sadness, your all that stuff. So when they attach to you, they try and keep you in that state, so that you and that can hold you back, because they will come and attach to you when you're in a downer state. So when you're super depressed, they'll come to your rescue, but they will try and keep you there. And so you got to break free. There's so many things that people just don't realize, just like them not realizing like they're connected, like you're connected. And but I think there was something probably nefarious going on with those connections. Like the system was trying to feed off of it and, tell us what we need to buy or something. I'm not sure. Like, the more that keeps unveiling, the more that we'll just start to understand. The pieces will come together, but the whole thing is just these pieces, like you healing the pieces of you, the pieces of the reality coming together to see. But we're creating a new reality. It's like we're seeing the past in order to create the future. And so we're going into something better. It's not like we're putting together this horrible world to stay stuck in it. It's like it's the motivation, it's the propelling us into the higher state, the better life. So, and that's how the dark works. It's like we need the dark, we need dark energy, and the universe depends on it. So, and when you get yourself in all this, I hate, that is something inside of you. These things are showing you, they're bringing it up. Because do you want to be somebody who hates? Do you want to be having to keep that energy? Because you got to create that energy. Is that where you want to put some of your energy? Well, I got this much energy, and I think I'm going to use a lot of it to hate this person. So I got to keep that going, because that's something you got to keep going. It's funny because love can grow by itself, but hate, you got to keep stoking that fire. You got to keep yourself like, yeah, I'm so mad about that. I still can't believe they did that. And keep yourself in, I hate them, they're the worst, and stuff like that. And also, and I think another buffer to hate is also to remember there's a lot of people that are playing roles. And so, you don't want to be like, get all hung up on something that's not real and an illusion. And you're going to put all this, I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. There's so much stuff you just got to let go of. It's like, let go, let God, let go, let God. Just let go of shit. Don't hold on to it. Don't try and control it. Don't get caught up in the pain and hold on to the pain and keep yourself trapped in it. Like, just keep letting go, and you'll find yourself, on your best timeline, feeling good about yourself, feeling happy. It's so trippy too. It's so weird of how much I didn't like myself before. And it's like, man, you go through all that stuff, and all of a sudden it's like you start liking yourself in ways that you had no idea that you could, and accepting yourself. Like, I thought man, I can't even tell you how unattractive I thought I was through all of my living my life. And it's so weird. So weird. Then, and you start getting to the thing, and you start going like, I'm not unattractive. I'm not, my body's not horrible. It's like, especially like, I can look at, like, there's billions of people over there in this other place that have the same body as me, so it can't be that fucking bad. So, anyways, it's just weird because you can get so caught up in like, oh, like the booty train. Like, if you don't have a great booty, and booties are the thing, then you start feeling bad about yourself. And you've got all these girls in here getting these BBLs. And I saw another guy talking about how it is a horrible smell, and he was like, I don't know, a Grinder date or something, or Tinder or whatever. I think Grinder's just for gay people, but Tinder. And they're just hooking up or whatever and getting all nasty. And he said then all of a sudden there was a part, I don't know if her butt was in his face or whatever, and he said the smell, he jumped up and he pushed her off, and he just knocked her, and he's like, oh my God, you need to take a bath. And he's like, that smell is bad. And she starts arguing, getting pissed off, and saying he's not funky enough or something. I don't know. But she probably doesn't know. And it makes me really sad for these girls, is because if it's necrotic tissue, they've got this fat inside there that doesn't belong there, and it's dying. So it's dying, and it's becoming decaying inside. So you've got something. To me, that's well, it would, I guess, become an infection. It would have, white blood cells and stuff going there to try and clear out the infection. But man, it just seems so, like, I can't believe the things that we've allowed them to do to us. It's crazy. Yeah, and I'm guilty of it too. Like, fuck, my gallbladder's haunting, the fucking letting the implants. Like, I think about that a lot, and I think about, hating my body, thinking I'm so unattractive, and listening to, these people making fun of me. And then, anyways, you find yourself in this fake body that doesn't feel right at all, and Frankensteining us, 'cause you won't feel right. And so it feels like much more better to just learn how to accept yourself and learn how to love yourself, because there's no reason not to. And it's so weird how you, when you get to the other side, how you look back and you see it, and it's like, oh my God, I was so caught up in not liking myself that, you know, anybody who didn't like me, well, yeah, I don't like me either. So it's way better to start liking yourself, and it has a big part about accepting yourself. And then let's look at my tooth before I go off on there. So let's see that, because I definitely yesterday I was looking, and I was like, "There's no more black holes. Like you can see that that's gray, but the holes are gone. It's like when a something breaks and there's like crevices or something. So the gray is like the part that needs to build up. So it goes gray, and it'll go orange, and it just keeps building up and building up. So this is very interesting to watch. Uh, Anyways, just remember, because you are working on yourself, and what your whole game to do to go from this hating yourself and never being good enough and not liking yourself, you're not liking your body, because I'm not rare. I mean, I think a lot of people don't like themselves. They don't like their eyes. They don't like their nose. They don't like their mouth. They don't like their hair. They don't like their body. They don't like their chin. They don't like their arms. They don't like their fingers. They don't like their hips. They don't like their butt. They don't like their feet. They don't like their toes. I mean, it gets, we freaking can get down on ourselves. Like, I mean, how ridiculous. Like, there's people who are really down on toes and shit. Like, and I've heard people be talking about, like, oh, God, they've got the ugliest toes. It's like, they're goddamn toes. So, like, aren't they there just to kind of hold you up? So, anyways, but this whole journey, you will find that it's very beneficial the more that you can learn to love yourself. And that leads you right into loving everyone. And then learn how to have a loving day, because it totally is up to you. So, anyways, that's what I see. So, I'll talk to you later. Bye.